Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, the 7th of February in the year 2025. Let's take a look at the headlines. ZESCO assures 7 hours power supply. UPND scoops PAMBASHE, loses PETAUKE central seat. New curriculum on course, says government. In international news, Somali protesters condemn Trump's comments on Gaza. In sports, Copper Queens local squad unveiled ahead of international friendlies. Join me for these and many more other stories after the break. To present Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. ZESCO Limited has assured Zambians 7 hours of electricity supply following the securing of additional power imports. Speaking at a press briefing, ZESCO board chairperson Vixon Nkove says the company had logistical challenges with a particular supplier, but the constraint has since been resolved. Mr. Nkove says henceforth residential customers will receive 7 hours of supply, while public hospitals, universities, water pumping stations remain exempted from power rationing.
We have overcome that constraint and we are now in a position to import power enough to continue providing at the rate of 7 hours per day. So I just want to make sure that the nation is informed that ZESCO still remains committed to giving 7 hours a day. But of course, the commercial people are always priority. So that is where we sit today. And I just want to ensure that, make sure that you understand that we will always be very transparent in dealing with our customers, our stakeholders, and the nation when it comes to passing information. We live in a very dynamic situation. And I've always said that when we are importing power, sometimes some machine trips, or sometimes the people who are providing us power decide to use it instead of giving to us. That will always change for the period of that time. It will change our ability to provide and honor the 7 hours. So that is what I wanted to clarify. We remain committed. And of course, those key infrastructure, the key institutions that are always exempt, have always remained exempted today, tomorrow, and any other time, unless there is a national shutdown. So I just want to get that message that we are committed to the 7 hours, and we shall continue delivering on the 7 hours. Where there is a constraint that makes us fail to deliver, we shall transparently communicate with the country. Thank you very much.
The Law Association of Zambia, LAZ, has backed findings and recommendations of Ms. Irene Khan, the UN Special Rapporteur, who was in the country to assess the state of freedom of expression and human rights in Zambia. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka, LAZ President Lungisani Lungu notes that the invite of Ms. Khan was timely given the allegations that surrounded the state of freedom of expression and human rights in the country. He urged the government to implement measures to translate the preliminary report's key recommendations into tangible action. Mr. Lungisani further condemned the incarceration of Kitwe-based clergyman Pastor Duncan Simuchimba, urging the government to embrace divergent views. Pastor Simuchimba was sentenced to 9 months with hard labor for unlawful assembly. The Law Association of Zambia has since launched the Last Governance Forum, a platform aimed at discussing issues of national importance with various stakeholders across the country. Details in this report. Moving on in the news this evening, the United Party for National Development UPND candidate Justin Kapema has been declared the duly elected Member of Parliament for PAMBASHE constituency following his victory in the by-election held on Thursday, 6 February 2025. Mr. Kapema secured 5,067 votes, outperforming his closest rival, Mwenya Williams, of the Forum for Democratic Development FDD, who garnered 2,614 votes, and Honorato Kanunsha of DU obtained 1,722 votes, while James Mlenga of the Socialist Party SP finished last with 509 votes. A total of 10,071 ballots were cast, of which 159 were rejected as invalid. The official announcement of Kapema's victory was made in the early hours of Friday, 7 February 2025. Meanwhile, the New Congress Party, NCP, has won the PETAUKE by-election after its candidate, Simon Banda, garnered 13,180 votes, and Severin Lungu of the United Party for National Development, UPND, came out in second place with 11,093 votes. PETAUKE constituency returning officer Siveso Muimui announced that a total of 27,083 votes were cast, with 532 ballots rejected as invalid.
Certain the results of the poll in the said constituency, and that they have been given to Mlenga James C. SP 509, Kanunsha Honorato of DU 1,722, Mwenya Williams of FDD 2,614, Kapema Justin of UPND 5,067. I further declare that a total of 159 ballot papers have been rejected as invalid, and that a total of 10,071 votes were cast. I therefore declare that the said Kapema Justin to be this day duly elected as a Member of Parliament for PAMBASHE constituency.
Returning officer for PETAUKE constituency do hereby declare that I have, in accordance with the law, ascertained the results of the poll in the said constituency, and that they have been given to Moses Piri, DU 75, Nkale Independent 247, Tembo Joshua LM 338, Mwale Julius SP 578, Chamakalos CF 1040, Lungu Severian UPND 11093, Wanda Simon NCP 13180. I declare that a total of 532 ballot papers have been rejected as invalid, and that a total of 27,083 votes were cast. I therefore declare that the said Simon Banda.
The Governance Election Advocacy Research Services GEARS initiative has described the recently concluded by-elections in PETAUKE and PAMBASHE as democratic, given their competitiveness. In an interview with Camnet News, GEARS Initiative Board Chairperson Lakson Lungu commended the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, for fostering a peaceful political environment in both constituencies. He further noted that the country's democratic landscape is progressing, which is beneficial as it promotes national unity despite differing political views. Mr. Lungu has urged all stakeholders to continue supporting ECZ to ensure the sustained conduct of peaceful and credible elections beyond the recent by-elections. On Thursday, 6 February 2025, by-elections were held in PETAUKE and PAMBASHE constituencies, in which UPND's Justin Kapema scooped the elections in PAMBASHE, and Simon Banda of New Congress Party under the Tonse Alliance won in PETAUKE constituency.
This election outcome presents what I would refer to as a clear demonstration of improvement or a growing democracy for Zambia. We must all be excited as a nation, and speaking as a civil society organization, we must indicate that the results of this election demonstrates the improvement that we are making as a country in regard to holding of democratic elections. We are excited in the sense that the ruling party has won some, the opposition has also won some, meaning that we are having a competitive kind of arrangement. And indeed, we want to appreciate the work of the ECZ for making sure that they conduct these elections in a peaceful manner, in a credible manner, in a manner that has made all stakeholders to be excited. We also want to appreciate the political parties for having conducted themselves in a manner that has been void of violence, especially during the voting process. The isolated cases of violence situations that were amicably handled, we were concerned about those, but the fact that they were amicably handled, that is impressive. Going forward, we have to encourage all political players that can we continue coexisting, playing the politics that we have demonstrated within the just ended by-election, that they can be peacefully and incredibly handled. We want to take this opportunity to call upon all stakeholders to support the Electoral Commission of Zambia so that they can continue administering elections that will present our country as a beacon of democracy. So we indeed are excited with the outcome, and we call upon all stakeholders to support the holding of elections in the country.
We now go to Western Province, where the ruling United Party for National Development UPND candidate Susiku Muitumwa has scooped the Litawa ward by-election with 631 votes. Litawa ward returning officer Jones Siangandu declared Susiku Muitumwa winner at exactly 21:30 hours Thursday, while Socialist Party candidate Mateo Lubita recorded 49 votes. Mubiana Mutula of the Leadership Movement had 67, and Maketomu Lako of Citizen First recorded 27 votes, respectively. Meanwhile, Electoral Commission of Zambia Commissioner Ambassador Ndio Imutiti has commended political parties that participated in the just-ended by-election in Litawa ward of Nalikwanda constituency of Mongu district.
The United Party for National Development UPND has scooped the Litawa by-election, which was necessitated by the demise of the area councillor who passed on. Litawa returning officer John Siangandu declared the winner at around 21:30.
I, John Siangandu, being the returning officer for Litawa Ward, Mongu district, do hereby declare that I have, in accordance with the law, ascertained the results of the poll in the said ward, and that they have been given to Susiku Muitumwa of the UPND 631. I therefore declare that decide Sosiko Mwitumwa to be this day duly elected as a member of the council of Nangu Council for Litawa Ward.
And speaking after the declared winner in the just ended election, United Party for National Development, Sosiko Mwitumwa, appreciated the people in his ward for voting for him. And Western Province United Party for National Development, Provincial Vice Chairperson for Politics, Hasti Muneku, added his voice.
Ni tumeza olkwasi kyabasaritawa kakunifama voti kuzwera kwali piruza mina. Yes. Mi ape nikaveleka zero zene basiezi fone basiezi bo models
for overwhelmingly voting for the UPND in this by-election. And this is not by mistake, but it's testimony of the things which people have seen this UPND government has done since we came into power in 2021.
Mino, Electoral Commission of Zambia, Commissioner Ambassador Ndioi Mutiti, and the Mongo District Electoral Officer Oliver Moka appreciated the political parties that participated on the 7th February by-election for holding peaceful nomination campaigns and voting exhibited during the election period.
Over and above that, it's really gratifying to see that in the same manner in which the campaign period was peaceful, even poll day has been the same. This is the way things should be, and it's really a positive sign and a great strength for us as part of the electoral process.
To encourage people, political players, especially the political parties, I must mention that we need to appreciate what they have done in this by-election. They have been so peaceful, we have been consultative with them. Nobody has ever come to bring a complaint, and this is the way it should be.
Musiabo Kabira, Camnet News, in Litawa Ward, Narikwanda Constituency, Mongo District, Western Province.
From Mongo, Narikwanda Constituency to Chongwe District, where over 241 council police officers have graduated from Chalimbana Local Government Training Institute in the district. Speaking at the pass-out ceremony, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, congratulated the officers from 116 local authorities and stated that this is a significant milestone for the ministry as it aims to strengthen local government across Zambia. Mr. Nkombo says the ministry has lined up a series of professional development programs, PDPS, aimed at equipping council police with best practices in the enforcement of civic laws. He has expressed confidence that such training programs will contribute to the professional development of local authorities and council police.
2025 series of professional development programs for the council police are being conducted here at Chalimbana Local Government Training Institute in collaboration with the Geoffrey Musoma Parliamentary Training School under the Zambia Police Service. The training program, which is being implemented in 2 phases, has been designed to equip the trainees with knowledge on the local government system as well as skills of security techniques and effective community policing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm therefore confident that the training program will contribute to the professional development of our local authorities and also the council police, particularly those recently recruited by the Local Government Service Commission and those that may have been recruited before but never went through this kind of training.
In education news this evening, the Ministry of Education says it is on course in the distribution of materials in readiness for the rolling out of the new curriculum on Monday, February 10th, 2025. Assistant Director of Communications Kunda Mando says the ministry has distributed materials to schools through the Zambia Education Publishing House, ZEF. Ms. Mando says the distribution of materials is a significant step towards the implementation of new curriculum which will initially be introduced in early childhood education, grade 1 and Form 1. She adds that the ministry has also shared soft copies of the curriculum with key stakeholders, ensuring a smooth transition. The ministry is confident that the new curriculum will be rolled out as scheduled and assure the nation that everything is in place for a successful rollout.
The Ministry of Education is on course in the distribution of materials in readiness for the rolling out of the new curriculum on Monday, the 10th of February 2025. The ministry has used the Zambia Education Publishing House, that is ZEF, to print and distribute the materials. You may remember that ZEF was used actively a number of years ago, and this time around it has been revamped and is able to undertake bulk printing as required by the ministry. And in addition, according to the new curriculum implementation plan, the Ministry of Education has shared the soft copies with all stakeholders. So you will find that in some cases where there are no hard copies, we have improvised and reached out to the schools using soft copies so that no matter what happens, by 10th of February, we do get started. The nation should be therefore assured that the new curriculum will be implemented on Monday the 10th February 2025, and we begin with early childhood education level 1, grade 1 and Form 1.
A ruling from the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, High Court Division, has found that an affidavit supporting a cross petition by Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha was irregularly presented before the court. This is in the case brought by former Mines and Minerals Development Minister Richard Musukwa, along with 6 other petitioners, challenges the legality of the search and seizure of their properties by officers of the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC. The petitioners, which include companies and individuals such as Jenna Lalungu, Jacqueline Musukwa, Kumapili Hotel Limited, Mwanangwa Resources Limited, Tachizia Company Limited, and 24/7 Stand by Security Limited, seek a declaration that the DEC did not have the authority to execute the warrants used during the raids. They also argue that the seizures violated provisions of the Criminal Procedure Code and the Prohibition and Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and that the actions of the DEC officers have infringed on their constitutional rights, including the right to a fair trial and the presumption of the innocence. On May 16, 2023, a team composed of Zambia Police, DEC officers, and officials from the Office of the President raided properties in Chilabombwe, and the petitioners claim that these officers entered residences without proper authority. The Attorney General had sought to use the cross petition to order that the petitioners be directed to comply with ongoing investigations. However, the ruling clarifies that any document failing to meet the statutory requirements cannot form part of the proceedings. A Lusaka resident is challenging the legality of former President Edgar Lungu's continued hold on office during the 2016 presidential election petition hearings. Teddy Kalusa has opposed the Attorney General's assert that hold of office during the time's legal, arguing that when an election petition is filed against an incumbent president-elect, Zambian law requires that the Speaker of the National Assembly assume the executive functions until the matter is resolved. Mr. Kalusa contends that because the Chief Registrar does not have the authority to administer the oath of office to the President and Vice President, the issue should be decided on its merits rather than dismissed outright. His petition stems from events following a PF Central Committee meeting in July 2016 and questions whether Mr. Lungu properly transferred his executive powers during the election petition process. He points out that the former head of state continued to exercise presidential powers from August 19 to September 2, 2016, and asserts that this failure to cede authority to the Speaker raises serious constitutional concerns under Article 104(3). But the Attorney General, Muliro Kabesha, maintained that there is no legal requirement for an incumbent president-elect to hand over power to the Speaker during a petition challenging the results of the initial ballot. He explains that the constitutional provision in question applies only to situations where a second ballot is held, a scenario that did not occur in 2016. The state further argues that Mr. Kalusa has not presented any substantial factual issues to warrant court intervention and affirms that former President Lungu, along with his former Vice President Inonge Wina, was properly sworn into office under the supervision of the late Chief Justice Irene Mambirima. The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, has filed for an application in the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, High Court Division, to have Zambia Air Force ZAF Warrant Officer Class 1, Albert Siunda, and his wife, Nandinali Atamani, properties forfeited to the state. ACC Senior Corporate Communications Officer Dorothy Muzumara says this follows the conviction of Zambia Air Force ZAF Warrant Officer Class 1, Albert Siunda, and his wife, Nandinali Atamani, on 7 counts of possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime on Tuesday. Dr. Muzumara says the properties in question, valued at over 8 million kwacha, include several residential houses located in Lusaka's Chalala, New Kasama, Ibex Hill, Mutendere East, and Lilai areas. The Economic and Financial Crimes Division of the Subordinate Court convicted and sentenced Yunda to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor, while his wife received a 3-year simple imprisonment sentence. The Commission is delighted with the conviction and warns members of the public engaging in corruption that the law will catch up with them and all illegally acquired properties will be returned to the people of Zambia. Government is said to host the 51st African Regional Labour Administration Center Governing Council meeting, which will bring together ministers responsible for labour and employment from 8 member countries. Speaking during a press briefing, Minister of Labour and Social Security Brenda Tambatamba says the meeting aims to advance labour administration across the African continent. Mrs. Tambatamba says the meeting's mandate is to strengthen labour administration systems to its member countries through training, research, consultancy and advisory services. She adds that the meeting aligns with the vision of the New Dawn's government to exponentially further socio-economic growth, positioning the country as a hub that fosters sustainable employment and governance practices in the labour sector.
The ALAC Symposium on the 12th of February will provide a platform for thought-provoking discussions on productivity, governance and workforce development. Setting the stage for the Governing Council meeting, the key thematic areas will include the following: innovative approaches to tackling informality, promoting transitions towards formality to promote decent work. I'll repeat that: promoting transitions towards formality to promote decent work. The Governing Council meeting will focus on policy resolutions, progressive reviews or progress reviews, and future planning to achieve ALAC's mission of promoting decent work and effective labour administration, protection for not only the Zambian workers, but all Africa's workers. Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen and women, hosting the 51st ALAC Governing Council meeting presents a unique opportunity for Zambia to reinforce its leadership in advancing labour administration across Africa. This event highlights our commitment to creating decent work opportunities, strengthening social dialogue between the social partners, and addressing challenges that come with informality.
And that particular story takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
To all our esteemed Camnet viewers, on behalf of the Camnet TV board and management, we extend our deepest gratitude to the government and MultiChoice Africa for the opportunity of having worked together for 7 years. Your support and partnership have been instrumental in our journey, allowing us to reach audiences with impactful, life-changing content that informs, educates, and inspires. To our loyal viewers who were born for greatness, we are immensely grateful for your unequivocal, unwavering support, trust, and engagement that have been the driving force behind making Camnet TV a household name for all these years. Your continued encouragement has empowered us to grow, evolve, and remain dedicated to delivering quality programming. As we move forward, we want to reassure you that Camnet TV is not closing at all. We are transitioning to a full digital platform, embracing innovation to serve you even better. This evolution will enable us to expand our reach, enhance viewer growth, experience, and remain a very strong voice in the media industry. In this transition, we remain deeply committed to upholding and taking to greater heights the vision and legacy of our beloved late chairman, Pastor Moses Kangwine Chiluba. His dedication to truth, excellence, and faith-driven broadcasting continues to inspire us. And we will ensure that his mission lives on through the help of our Lord Jesus Christ and Camnet TV's future endeavors. Thank you once again for your unwavering support and belief in us. Within 2 weeks, please download and watch Camnet TV on KenStream from the Play Store and the App Store. The best is yet to come.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Welcome back and thank you so much for still joining us on the Camnet News Desk. And now in international news. Hundreds of Somalis gathered in the Peace Garden in Mogadishu to show their support to Palestinians. Many participants waved Palestinian flags and displayed banners stating, "Gaza is not for sale," and Somalis stand with Palestinians. They criticized Trump's suggestion that residents of Gaza should relocate to countries like Egypt and Jordan. The demonstration in Mogadishu highlights the growing regional opposition to Trump's stance on Gaza, alongside widespread calls for global support for Palestinians. Trump has enacted an executive order allowing economic and travel sanctions against individuals involved in International Criminal Court, ICC investigations concerning U.S. citizens or allies, including Israel. Here's a roundup of international news.
In a significant move following the violent protests that rocked Senegal between 2021 and 2024, the government has announced a financial aid package for the families of those killed. Each family will receive 10 million CFA francs, described as an urgent first step by authorities. This assistance aims to support grieving families, many of whom are left with widows and orphans in dire circumstances. However, human rights organisations are calling for a full judicial process and the repeal of a controversial amnesty law, which currently shields those responsible for the deaths from prosecution. 60 families are waiting for justice, having filed homicide complaints that are yet to be heard in court.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa warned of rising nationalism and protectionism in his annual address, asserting that his country would not be bullied amid U.S. funding cuts.
We will stand together. We are concerned about the potential impact of the decision by the United States government to suspend.
He also announced a $50 billion infrastructure plan to boost South Africa's economy, pledging resilience amid global political shifts.
Hundreds of Somalis assembled in the Peace Garden in Mogadishu to express their solidarity with Palestinians. Many waved Palestinians' flags and held banners that read, "Gaza is not for sale," and "Somali stands with Palestine." They condemned Trump's suggestions that Gaza residents should move to countries like Egypt and Jordan. Our brothers in Palestine have suffered repeatedly, and for President Trump to say that Gaza should move to other countries is a complete trap. Trump wants to ensnare the Muslims in Gaza, and that is why we are here. We will not accept this. The demonstrations in Mogadishu reflect the increasing regional dissent against Trump's position on Gaza, along with widespread appeals for global support for Palestinians. Trump's decision is ironic and undermines justice. It sides with aggressors and violates the rights of those who fought for independence for many years. Instead of supporting their struggles and independence, he goes against them and supports their enemy, ordering them to leave their land. This is something we cannot accept, and as Somalis, we view this as a profound injustice. Trump has issued an executive order that permits economic and travel sanctions against people who work on international criminal court investigations of U.S. citizens or U.S. allies such as Israel.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Zambia women's national team head coach Nora Hato has named a 30-member locally assembled squad for the upcoming FIFA friendly matches against Malawi's Scorchers. The selection, which emphasizes homegrown talent, features top performers from the Eden University Women's Super League, including ZESCO Ndola girls striker Penelope Muluwa, one of the league's leading goal scorers with 25 goals in 23 matches. The squad also includes emerging talents from the national under-17 team, such as Mwila Mufunte and Namute Chileshe, as well as established players like Copper Princesses captain Messi Chipasula and striker Ruth Mukoma. The current lineup, drawn from clubs including ZESCO Ndola Girls, Green Buffaloes, Red Arrows, Zanaco Ladies and others, will form the core of the team's preparations for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The friendly matches, scheduled for February, are part of the Copper Queens build-up ahead of the tournament, where they have been drawn in Group A alongside hosts Morocco, Senegal and Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Hato's local squad will be in camp from February 16th to 21st, after which foreign-based players will be added to the final squad for the upcoming final camp. We can only wish the Copper Princesses all the best, and the Chipolopolo women all the best as they take on Malawi in this friendly match. And that particular story brings us to the end of this edition of Camnet TV main news. But before we go, a recap of stories making headlines. ZESCO assures 7 hours power supply. UPND scoops PAMBASHE, loses PETAUKE central seat. New curriculum on course, says government. In international news, Somali protesters condemn Trump's comments on Gaza. And in sports, Copper Queens local squad unveiled ahead of international friendlies. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 21. It reads, The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. We end the reading and we end the main news, but dear viewer, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.